Hey everybody, it's January 2018 and as you can tell, we're having a cold front. This is really unusual here for it to be in the teens at night. Everything's freezing up, but I wanted to show you today how to split wood for a fire. First, let's talk about the wood we're going to be splitting. This is oak and maple, and I even have a little bit of river birch in here. You only want to work with dried, seasoned hardwoods for an indoor fireplace. You don't want to use pine. Now this has been sitting here for about a year, and you'll also notice that I've got it set on PVC pipes on the bottom so that the wood doesn't rot. Obviously you're going to need a big sturdy chopping block. These are big pieces of pine that were by the side of the road, some construction that was going on by the highway, so I picked those up. And now let's talk about the tools. This little hatchet, useless unless you're trying to make little tiny kindling pieces. Now this axe looks very sexy. It's very thin and it's got a nice broad head on it, and you would think this would be great because it's lightweight, but this is not for splitting wood. This is for chopping a tree down from the side. The reason, I'll even show you in a minute, is that this is so narrow that it gets caught in the wood. See? So you end up doing this the whole time, trying to wedge it out. So this is not the right axe. And that leaves us with this bad boy. So this is an 8-pound splitting Maul. Look at the size of the head. Look at how it's very wide. It's not narrow. And yeah, it's really heavy. But you need that weight to get through the wood, and it's gonna bust it in two. If you're the type who misses when you're trying to swing the axe, you might want to consider one with a fiberglass handle. If you miss, it's really not going to damage it. It's really hard to explain to somebody how to aim. You just have to practice and get a feel for it. So you get your stance as far back as you need, swing it over your head, and let it fly. You know, they say that splitting your own wood warms you 3 times. The first time when you cut the tree down and you haul it back to the house. Second time when you split the logs and then haul those to the house. And the third time is when you actually make the fire. It'll definitely heat you up while you're working. So I just put the wood on the back porch underneath the roof so that it doesn't get wet, and I just put it in a big cattle trough basically, and pretty much just cut wood as I need it because we don't go through a lot except during these cold spells. Another aspect about having a wood burning fireplace is you've got to keep up getting the ashes out of here. And one really serious warning: if you use a plastic bucket, don't keep it in the house. Don't put it on the back deck. One of my friends' families actually started their deck on fire because the ashes weren't completely cool. So I'm going to take this ash out and actually put it right in the compost bin. The garden loves ashes, by the way. I usually let the ashes mix with the compost all winter and spring, and I've never had any problems with too much alkalinity from the basic pH of the wood ashes. I've only had great success with it. As far as starting the fire, I usually put newspaper, crumpled down newspaper, and then I like pine cones, nice dry pine cones, and then a whole bunch of small sticks, and then slightly bigger sticks, more small sticks, and then I've got these little chips from basically when I was splitting the logs. Some of these were a little irregular shape. And then I've got these ready for when the whole thing catches. Everybody loves the idea of a real fire with real wood burning, but are you prepared to do all the work it takes? One final bit of advice: have your fire extinguisher really close to the fireplace, just in case.